Hi everyone, it's Erin here from Timber Flooring Clearance Centre, and I'm going to just give you a quick rundown on the different types of laminates that we have here at Timber Flooring Clearance Centre and some sort of frequently asked questions and comments and feedback I've received over the years all about laminate flooring. So let's jump straight in. I've just sort of selected a few of our popular colours and types and everything here just so I can kind of run down the different types. So first of all here, what we've got is a longboard 12mm AC4 laminate. So if you want a longboard, often the longboards are really good for if you've got a really big area. It can kind of make, say, a really long hallway, big open plan living area, something like that, feel a little bit bigger because you're not going to have quite as many joints in the boards. On the flip side, sometimes they can look a little bit funny in, say, like a 3x3 meter bedroom. Because the boards are 2.3 meters long, you end up with only like a board and a half along the width and the length of the room. So I do sort of say to people, look, I don't get too hung up on the length of the board. I worry more about the color, but it is just something. If you're going to be asking questions about the length of the board, that is what I would take into consideration. Bedrooms, not so much. Nice big open plan living areas, yeah, they can look really, really nice. So that's, and AC4. So AC4 basically means that is your heavy residential warranty and light commercial warranty. So it just means it's a little bit more hard wearing on the top. Totally overkill for a house. Something like that would be good in a commercial environment, a shop, something like that. But just please do not think that you need an AC4 in a house. It is just not necessary. AC3 is more than enough. Okay, moving along, we've got an 8mm black butt laminate. Now this one is quite a narrow board. So the standard these days with laminates is about like your 190 wide. Back when I first started in the industry, this sort of narrow board was more on trend. This is only a 126 wide, so it's quite narrow. These are going to be really good if you're trying to match up, for example, to an existing solid timber floor that you might have. So one thing we get a lot of is where people will have existing solid timber in most of their house and they might be doing an extension, or they want to rip up the carpet in the kids' rooms and put down something. They don't want an exact match, they just want something similar that's going to flow through. Something like this is going to be perfect because more often than not, the older style solid timbers are narrow boards. So something like this is gonna potentially work really well for that. It's also a smooth sort of semi-gloss finish. So again, that's generally going to match up quite well to old solid timber floors. That's not to say that's the only use for it, but that's where I envisage something like that's going to work really well. This one's quite a unique one. This is a textured patterned 12mm laminate. We've actually had a few people use these on walls. I had someone put them on a wall in their cafe, looked absolutely amazing. So, you know, that kind of thing, again, something like that's quite unique. It's not necessarily going to be everybody's cup of tea. It's not going to be probably something you're going to want to put through your whole house, but that could be a really good feature for a sort of one room of the house, a wall, maybe in a commercial environment, again, a cafe, restaurant, shop, something like that. So that's pretty cool. Then you've got, now look this, 12mm, standard 1200 long laminate, spotted gum laminate. So spotted gum is a classic Australian timber look. It is probably, along with black butt, one of our most popular colors. Doesn't go in, doesn't go out of style. It is just a classic look that nobody hates. It's inoffensive. It goes with all your furniture. Tenants don't mind it. If you're reselling, it's good. You know, no matter what, spotted gum, you kind of just can't go wrong with a spotted gum or a black butt. So this is one that we try to keep fairly regularly in stock if we can, or at least if it's not this exact one, we always try to keep a 12mm black butt and spotted gum in stock. So that's that one. Nova, oh my goodness, Nova. I did a Facebook post about Nova the other day. We have sold something ridiculous like 24,000 square meters of this over the last few years. It is by far our most popular laminate color. It's an 8mm gray. It is just gorgeous. So 8mm, look, I often get asked the difference between 8 and 12mm, and quite honestly, I say it is 4mm. Like that truly is, more often than not, the difference. It is just the thickness. Sometimes 8mm will be better, sometimes 12mm will be better. It'll be largely dependent on your circumstances. So for example, if you're going over the top of tiles, you're not necessarily going to want 12mm because it's going to raise everything that little bit more. It means you're going to shave your doors that little bit more. It means the difference between that and the carpet and the tiles and the rest of the house are going to be that little bit more. So you know, a lot of people think 12 mils thicker, it must be better. Sometimes that's true, sometimes it's not. So 8 mil can be really good. Like a lot of people will put 8 mil laminates in rental properties, for example. You're not necessarily going to want to spend a ridiculous amount of money on a rental property. Tenants, on the whole, are not going to look after things the way you would. So there's not much point in spending a lot of money on a floor that they may not look after. Now, having said that, this is the good thing about laminates. They are very practical, very durable. So even if your tenants don't clean it with a toothbrush every day, something like this is going to survive really well. Like really, they would have to put their minds to it to damage it. It's moisture resistant, it's scratch resistant, it's fade resistant, it's wear resistant. Like it really is, and this goes for all laminates, by the way. They really are really, really good. Perfect for tenants. Okay, that's what I have in my rental property. We actually have like a gloss sort of one like this because we used to live in that house and that was the trend back then. But yeah, like it holds up perfectly. They've got cats and kids and you know, it's really, really good. So you can see though the difference with an 8 mil. Like you can see with an 8 mil there is a little bit of flex in that, whereas with a 12 there's not quite so much. So other things to sort of think about are like the your subfloor levelness. So you can imagine putting an 8 mil over an unlevel subfloor. If you've got a dip in your floor, for example, and you put an 8 mil board over the top of that, over time that's going to just crack and creak and bounce and annoy you and eventually damage the board. That's not to say that you can put a 12 mil over an unlevel floor, but it is a little bit more forgiving. It probably can deal with a slight dip a little bit more than an 8 mil. Okay, and again, I just say these are just my things that I've realized over the years. Please don't take this as gospel. This is not a formal recommendation. You can see my accounting years coming back to me here. This is not advice. This is just things that people have said to me over the years and that I've kind of picked up and I just am wanting to share with you because we get a lot of these same questions every day. So they're the things I think about. Now the other kind of thing we have is like a gloss. So 12 mil gloss here. So again, this was very, very in a little while ago. Honestly, probably not so much anymore, but there are still people that want it or trying to match something up to what they used to have. So there's a big range of those. One thing I will say is this is by no stretch our range of laminates. This is just a few that I've picked out to talk about today. We have absolutely heaps of laminates, again, from 8 to 12 mil. All colors are well, not the rainbow. We don't have purples or anything, but lots and lots of colors, your grays, your lights, darks, reds, classics, textured, non-textured, 8 mil, 12 mil, longboard, shortboards, whatever you could possibly want. And the way we currently do things is everything on the racks, there's at least 150 square meters in stock for you to come and grab straight away. We can put a deposit on it, we can install it for you, we can deliver it for $80 Victoria wide. Like we're pretty flexible about all that. Like we just want to make sure you're happy and we can work with you. The main thing is that we want to make sure you're happy with the product you've chosen. And like I said, I think the color is the main thing. I personally wouldn't get too hung up on quality, length, thickness, width, anything like that, unless you are trying to match it up to something that you've already got down. But otherwise, the color's the thing that you're going to be looking at. It's the thing that you're going to walk in and see out of the corner of your eye. It's the thing that your guests are going to notice. It's the thing that, you know, has to match up with your furniture, your paint and lighting and everything else. So just on that too, we do samples. It's another frequently asked question. So yes, we do samples. We do charge for them, $10 each, but that is refundable upon either bringing them back or placing an order. So feel free, take 9, 10 if you like, it doesn't matter. Again, we mostly just want to make sure you are choosing the right product for you. So take some samples, try them out at home, see what your friends and family think, and then bring them back, place your order, place your order online. Everything you see here in the showroom is online, everything. So you can order online as well. And otherwise, I think that's mostly everything I wanted to say about laminates.